Hi, this week I bought some Magic Eye Tube kits. Came from China. Let's see what we got. I bought 3 of them. Total of 3 in here. And there should be 3 tubes. Kind of a smallish Magic Eye tube. There it is. You can see the phosphor on the front there. Let's see what these kits look like. No instructions, but I don't think we're going to need any. They come with a socket. Fit on there. Terminal strip. It's a pot, probably for adjusting the gain. Transistor, probably an amplifier. Bunch of resistors, some caps. Should be easy enough to put together. Okay, so let's stuff the board with the components. Rather than actually trying to figure out the color codes, I'm probably just going to use my multimeter here. See what resistors we have. It's 150 ohm. Yeah, that's another 150 ohm. There we've got a 215K. So let's see, the 150 ohms go up there. This here must be a 220. Go down here. For big resistors. There's 216. Also 216, so these must also be 220s. Got a few spots for those. Right here. Right there. See, we need a 1N60 diode, which is this guy. Diode is a polarized component, so make sure we put the band where it shows the band on the silk screen. Another 1N6. Ah, there's the other 1N. Well, that's interesting. That 1N60, they did not mark the polarity of that one, so let's just leave that aside for a moment. We do have a 30 volt Zener diode. What do we got here? I bet that says 1N47. What else do we got for resistors? One reads 82K. Don't see any 82Ks on there. 100K. We do have a 100K. Do we have here? It's a 2.4K. Got a spot for him. This is a pair of 1 meg resistors. One of them is going to go up here. We've got that one left. Got the 1N60 that we don't know the polarity. So at this point what I usually do is I will break with building something and I'll solder all these resistors since they're about the same height. And we're going to have to figure out which way that 1N60 goes. I'm guessing this one that's reading 82K here. They must want it to go in this 47K spot. Hopefully it's won't matter that it is not the value that they have printed on here. Maybe that trimmer pot gives us some allowance. Okay, let's do some soldering. Okay, so the picture on eBay clearly shows the diode, the band on this side. We'll put him in. Now we can move to some of the other components. We have this trim pot. Go right there. Moving to the next biggest components, we have a bunch of capacitors. They're all O.1. So these are all 104s, is that right? Always check the values. Yep, they're all 104s. Easy enough to put these in place. Okay, 3 little capacitors installed. Solder those up. And clip the leads. Got a transistor. Polarity for it is marked 9014, that's what it is. Not a transistor I have used before. Please observe the polarity when installing your transistor. Put the leads over. We'll solder those. Now we have a pair of electrolytic capacitors. There is a band on them marked minus, so we know which way those go in. Definitely polarized components, don't want to do those backwards. Solder those up. The leads, now we've got a terminal strip. Orient that the proper way. There. Okay. It's all the components except the socket. Now the socket looks like it should go on the top. However, looking at the pictures on eBay, we see they put the sockets on the other side. I guess that's a good thing to know. Also comparing the pin numbers. Pin 1 on the socket is here, pin 1 on the socket is there. So it must go in from this side. You can see someone soldering that in on the wrong side. That'd really be a bummer. So we're going to have to solder it from, it's not a double-sided through-hole plated board, so we're going to have to solder it from this end. Do want to try to get it reasonably straight and flat, so I'll put some pressure on it. There's one pin. Maybe it'd help to actually put the tube in there to make sure we get it in straight. Okay, just tweak it up a little bit, back a little bit, solder a second pin. I think that'll probably be good enough. Okay, all the pins soldered. There's our completed board. Let's turn off the light. Oh, autofocus has been on. Well, bummer. Hope that looks alright. And we're zoomed in. Let's take a look at the board up close so you can see this side has got all the discrete components, the terminal block. This side has got the tube and socket. What does it say? www.kdindustrial.com, and it's a 6E2 board. I think we're about ready to try this thing out. Okay, I've got this set up to go with my high voltage power supply. It's a a variable power supply, so we'll ramp up the voltage until we see the tube light up. Also on the back there's a 6.3 volt output for the heater element in the tube. So I've got the heater hooked up to this pair of wires. I've got the 250 volt supply hooked up to that pair of wires. I've got another pair that goes back and is it's hooked up to my power supply that I'm going to use to give it an input signal. So let's turn this on. It says it needs 250 volts. My supply only goes up to 233, but let's hope 233 is enough. Probably going to take a little while for the heater to heat up. Not seeing anything yet in our tube. Try giving it an input signal. Nothing there. Tube's definitely warm. Well, oops, there is a spot right there for a jumper wire we did not install. I bet it actually needs that jumper wire, so let's go install that. Okay, let's try this again. The jumper wire is now installed. Starting to see the tube light up. Let's turn off some lights. Yeah, that should be good and visible. And let's take my power supply over here, put 1 volt on the input. It's not giving us anything. Let's adjust that pot. Doesn't really seem to do anything. No, it doesn't really look like it cares about the input signal I'm putting to it. So I had an idea, I was trying to run this thing with the DC signal when, looking at it online. The board is obviously intended to be with an AC signal because it's intended to be an audio output level meter. So I got out my old pilotuner and, hastily rigged an antenna and an amplifier and stuff so we could try this. And lo and behold, it's actually working now, which is nice. You'll have to forgive the quality of my tuning. Now we can adjust the gain with this pot here. So yeah, there's the Magic Eye board functioning presumably as it's supposed to. And it does work, all the way down to 170, yeah, it works 150 volts even. But yeah, let's ramp that up. Maximum, my file do at 230. Now if we tune different things. There's another station. You can save hundreds of dollars on your car insurance just by switching to Geico. And with that money, you can buy the swankiest of rides for your tiny duo to cruise around in. Right on down to Body Training Town. So working as expected. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. When you give to Sleep Train foster kids, you may think you're donating a few dollars, but it's more. Okay, I spent some time reverse engineering the PC board to figure out what kind of circuit they used. And this is what I came up with. So over here on this side is the Magic Eye tube. You can see it has it's a dual triode design. There's a common cathode, which is grounded. There's 2 heater wires which come in. The heaters, they put these 150 ohm resistors on. I don't know exactly why, but this is your 6.3 volt heater circuit. Your cathode is grounded. The various anodes are up here. So the anode for the first triode goes through this 220K. This here is the target and deflection pins of the Magic Eye tube. So the target goes all the way up to high voltage, and deflection is hooked up along with the anode to the 220K resistor. So up here is your high voltage coming in. So the interesting stuff all has to do with this. So, you know, this is my first time trying to do something with Magic Eye tube, so I'm a bit new to this. I'm kind of figuring this out as I go. I think all the magic with controlling the tube has to do with this grid pin here. The grid controls the flow of electrons between the anode and the cathode. So you want to set this grid voltage to control how big your bar is going to be. And we can see there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. So first, there's a Zener diode which sets a 30 volt reference voltage and a capacitor to keep that reference voltage steady. That's dropped via two 220K resistors from the high voltage input, so you've got a nice steady 30 volts here, which feeds into this NPN transistor. This is the base of the transistor. You see it's AC coupled to our input. It's our input potentiometer that we can use to control the gain on the bar graph. So it goes in through the input potentiometer, through the AC coupling capacitor, hits this voltage divider. That's going to control the amount of voltage going into the NPN transistor. This is the emitter. Emitter's going out to another 10 microfarad capacitor and a 1 mega ohm resistor. And then the collector is hooked up to the grid pin. It is hooked up via another AC coupling capacitor there, a 47K resistor which is pulling it up to the 30 volt reference, and then you've got these two 1N60 diodes, another 1 meg resistor, and another 1.1 UF capacitor. Anyway, that's about as much as I've figured out about it. Well, I hope that made some kind of sense. Thank you for watching my video. Please visit my website at www.smbaker.com for more electronics projects and sandrail stuff. Bye.